morning, good evening, or good riddance. Welcome to the Spire RIFFCAST, where we'll be discussing all things metal, non-metal, and every point in between. With this podcast, we hope to lift the veil on our world in metal music and dig into some topics we've wanted to share with all of you. This will be informal, so please take our content with a grain of salt and a sense of humor. Right now, you are listening to the RIFFCAST, episode 13. I'm guitarist Pat Young, and I'm here with guitarist co-pilot Zachary Town. Let's riff. It has been a while.
Oh, it's been a while. Damn right.
Last show we played was August 8th at Kegg's Canal Side in Jordan with Dracula Jones. I don't believe I've ever seen them before. If I did, it might have been a long time ago, but they go farther back than my existence. So that was really cool to see a whole career of a band in one set. You can tell the difference between different eras, different albums, different decades that they've been a band. You can hear it in the music, and people were going nuts. Everybody that was there till the end, they were going nuts for them. A lot of people were familiar with that band from back when they started. It's like an older crowd there. Mm-hmm. I thought they were great. And then when we got up there, obviously I've been dealing with amp problems, just show to show, whether it's just what they have, their power situation in the house, if you're playing in dive bars and stuff. I don't know if I've been talking about it on other podcasts since it's been so long, but I have been having issues with that. And so this show, I tried something a little different, and that was to play through a power conditioner that my head ran off of, and also my pedal board, my effects processing. So I had that running, and we did have house cabs. You just have to get the ohms right. Got the ohms right, and I flipped it on, and then I got this. Of course, there's an issue. I get this half gain. I don't know what it was. I really don't know what it was. And I had the sound guy come back there and take a look at it. Scott Dixon was up there looking at it. And they said it was the tubes were, the power tubes, I think, were they were imbalanced in how they were heating up, right? Or there was a weird unbalanced behavior of them. And you could see it in the lights, but I'm not really, I know it has to get looked at. But I truly did not believe that was the issue, because, then we switched out. We had the whole over the mic, hey, does anybody else have a head, that he can use? And somebody, what band was it? It was the guy from Only the Chosen. Yeah. I think his name was Mike.
Yep.
He was really nice bringing up his amp for me, and we got that all hooked up. And then we had the same issue. I played, I bypassed. We did all the troubleshooting there, on stage for 10 minutes, as much as you can do frantically. Uh-huh. It didn't appear to be my guitar. It didn't appear to be my effects processor, because I plugged directly into the amp. And it didn't appear to be the amp, because I switched them out. And the cabinet had been played through,
every other band.
Yeah. Yep. However many bands prior to us, 4 or 5 bands. I think there were even more than that played before us. And then there were bands after us that used it. So it wasn't like it was, busted or whatever. There wasn't anything blown on it. But I ended up just diming the gain on my, the distortion. I just dimed it on my effects processor, and I played with a cord instead of wireless, because wireless kind of, when you're going wireless, it has a natural noise gate on it. It does gate your instrument a little bit. So you need a little bit more juice from whatever source you're playing out of to break through that wireless signal a little more. So I just played with a cord, the old school way, and I was not used to that. I'm trying to get feedback on my cabinet walking back, and then I'm pulling my processor with me because the cord is just shy of it. Just one of those shows you just kind of have to smile and
laugh it off a little bit.
And play. And I still think we played super well. York had bronchitis. Yeah, legitimately bronchitis. I thought he was gonna die. Like on the way there when he showed up, after the set, and then I was like, "You got to go home. You're gonna go home now. You're just gonna drive yourself home. Call me when you get back." And that was nuts. So
He's a trooper.
Yeah. So then
He's a tough boy.
Yeah. So then the show was great, everything's fine, and but we still got in the back of our heads, we're like, I cannot wait for tomorrow when we get to bring my gear downstairs in our basement,
where it always works fine.
Yeah, where it always works fine. Where it worked fine, the rehearsal the night before the show, and see what the deal is. See what exactly the problem was, because we were baffled and everything kept coming around. You'd say like, "Oh, what about this?" And then it would all come around in a circle, and you'd get to the same point, the original point of that can't be logical because we switched amps. Mm-hmm. That like was the biggest deal there. That can't be logical. We switched amps. So do you want to just like? I want to like hear. Let's go over. Let's relive this process a little bit more, because there is still a question mark on it. So, what did you end up doing when we were downstairs?
We set up downstairs. I said, just set it up exactly the way that you set up normally for rehearsal. And we're just going to plug it in. We're going to act like nothing bad ever happened. And we're just going to set up and go the way that we usually do. And we did. And everything worked fine. So we said, okay, let's make it exactly, try to recreate the stage conditions exactly like we had on stage. So we set everything up in just that little bit of a different way that we had going on stage. Like, you know, you were using a power conditioner that I had to try to clean up your power situation, because like you said, we've had problems like that in the past, but this was the first time we had tried using a conditioner, you know, with your rig. We set that up and everything worked fine, and we just kept going. We switched out guitars.
The point of that conditioner is for clean power situations, so I wasn't getting that extra feedback and noise. Yeah, so it was supposed to help it.
Yeah. But after some experimentation here in the basement, everything was fine, and we could not, under any circumstance, no matter what we tried, replicate that problem that you had on stage. Mm-hmm. And so we're still just baffled. It's just a mystery now. I
have a theory, though. Do you remember what that theory was when we walked away with it? I thought it might have been there was a power box with 4 outlets in it, and one outlet was taken up by the LED lights for Dracula Jones later on in the night, and I had my amp plugged into one of the outlets, and the power conditioner was plugged into another outlet. So 3 out of the 4 outlets are being used, and then when we had this issue, we changed amps. Now, amongst like all the chaos, I didn't know if I had unplugged my non-working amp, as it appeared to be, and then plugged in the amp that I borrowed from another guy into the same outlet. I didn't know if I plugged his amp into the same outlet. And so what I was thinking it would be, because we even like bypassed the conditioner. I just said, screw it. And we didn't even use the power conditioner at one point, and that same sound. So I'm thinking that like maybe, just maybe, the sound engineer had one outlet that was like a bad outlet, and everyone had been, it wasn't taped up or anything, it could have been recent, but everybody else from then on and prior had been plugging into like just another outlet in that box.
And you happen to be the one guy that used the bad outlet.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask him. I never got around to asking him, but yeah, no, it's definitely not the tubes. Amps, amps get moved around in vehicles and everything, and they get slammed around a lot. So like, it's good to have a tune-up with them and have them cleaned and maintain them, which I don't. So there's probably some other things going on with it, but it's unrelated to what happened. That was a strange happening. That's the only explanation I can think of. Other than that, it's like some weird. It starts to get a little spiritual. You start to get a little karma going on, and
because we're making a big deal out of this, like this one instance, but really, it's funny, and people listening to this aren't gonna know this until we tell them. But you have some weird electronic things that just follow you around and follow you into whatever room full of sensitive electronic equipment you happen to walk into.
Yeah.
And it's just the weirdest damn thing. And we've had this as long as I've known you and been making music with you. Like at college when we were in the audio arts program and working in the studios there.
I've never had this problem before.
Yeah.
Times 100, like every situation is, I've never had this problem before. We've never had this problem.
Or like things don't work totally fine, and then Pat will come in, and then all of a sudden there'll just be some weird
I might have
hardware error.
I got to ask my parents if I have like a metal plate in my skull.
Hereditary grounding issue.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
There's something.
My dad is definitely ground lifted. He
conspiracy.
It must be on my mom's side because my mom did all the grounding, and my dad was definitely the lifted ground. Totally, he's a loose one, loose cannon. Yeah, it was a great show. It was wonderful. I had such a great time playing and talking to people, and Scott Dixon, he did a great job with that. And we're looking forward to doing something related to that kind of show. You know, it was 95X Fest, like the locals only. So hopefully we'll be a part of some more shows for him. He's got to keep it interesting. He's got to mix up the bands. He's got to change it up. But any opportunity to do that again, something related to that, we're gonna get on that boat.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we haven't done a podcast since July 26th.
Yep, 26th.
Yeah, and shortly after that, I had to buckle down for wedding mode, and I had to stop skateboarding. I had to like cut that out of my diet. Couldn't skateboard because I didn't want to be hobbling down the aisle. So that was like the first couple days in August. I had my last skate session, and then it was just, I think we had a couple of rhythm guitar tracking sessions in August and the August 8th show, but pretty much it was all focused on the wedding planning, like all the last minute stuff, just making sure it's all in order and all the little arts and crafts, you know. Did you see a little bit of that, us doing the arts and crafts? I know Cameron came over and we did table numbers in Gaelic, so instead of like table 1, table 2, it'd be like, you know, the English word table, it'd be like love, or table freedom, or mental strength, or any of those like words or phrases or concepts, and there'd be this Gaelic word for it, and I didn't want people to like see the table and just be like, oh, we're at tables, you know, like trying to pronounce it. So I put like the phonetic way to do it, but I had to call Cameron just to make sure, because we did a Spire record in 2005 called One Moment Past Nothing, and the first track, I can't even pronounce it. It's like Morti Pe Crayas or something like that. That's his own language. So we did a song in a language that he wrote. It's crazy. So I had to call him up and get all the particulars, but he cleared it. He said, yeah, it looks good. People know how to pronounce this. They're still going to make fun of you and pronounce it, especially my friends, pronounce it however they want. I think there was one word, it was a concept, like an idea that was very like romantic, and just the concept in English was great, and I forgot what the concept was, but the translation into Gaelic, it looked like, I mean, it wasn't spelled the same, but as an immature mind sees it, it looked like come hard. Like, this is table, come hard. It was probably cum ha or something like that, but it come hard, that's what you looked. And then the next word down, like it was like an expanded phrase or something, and that one was "come harder." Totally, like just added on to it. Come hard. I'm like, I can't sit my friends down at table. Come harder. It's not gonna work. Even with the phonetic, I don't know. So that was like all those little things. Doing programs. It's doing the actual like seating chart. Giving everybody they pick up their name and they sit down at their table. Like all of that is just, it's an enjoyable nightmare. It really is. But we got married August 22nd, and then we got on a plane that following Monday and went to Ireland, and that was much needed. Ireland's awesome.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I've been there before. I was there when I was 15. She's never been before, so that was really nice. It was new. A lot of stuff was new for me. When you're 15, and like it doesn't matter how great something is that you're a part of. Mm-hmm. Like you're there. I'm over there when I'm 15. Like, oh, it's beautiful view. It's fucking gay. This is gay. And then you get home and you're like, I just saw all that. That's amazing. You grow up a little bit and you're like, I need to go back when I have a better outlook on life and myself. So that was wonderful. Drinking strictly Guinness the entire time. I did a tour of Jameson Distillery. I did a tour of Guinness Brewery, which is like the Willy Wonka factory for alcoholics. Yeah. There's like different levels. You can go up, one of the top levels and pour your own. You can either just get one, you give you a ticket, or you could learn how to pour your own. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So there's a nice art to that.
Yeah.
Nice art to that. It was a lot of fun. But we missed, by the end of it, we were there for 12 days. By the end of it, you start missing home, and we miss our kid, aka dog, or dog, aka kid, however you want to view it. Whatever's going to piss off people with kids. But yeah, I have this airport story, the hacky airport story. Toronto Airport. So when you leave the country, it's, you're leaving the U.S., they're just like, all right, get the fuck out of here. Like, okay, get out of here. And the other countries are like, oh, okay, how you doing? This is nice, okay. Like, I don't even know what accent that is. It's like Canadian / Irish. They don't care. They're like, welcome. Then when you come back home, what you didn't even know you were doing this when you thought you were on your honeymoon for almost 2 weeks. But what you were really doing was learning how to become a terrorist, because that's who you are when you get to that airport until they deem you not a terrorist. So we went through customs at the Dublin airport. That's fine. We got on a plane. We had a connecting flight from Toronto to Syracuse. So we go into Toronto, and even though you were already quote unquote sterilized to be in the duty-free section in Dublin, you have to go through it all again. So it's airport security. They have their own policies, their own way to do it. So we got to go through it again. But Toronto, there's like all these steps, like there's like levels. So you're going through like step 1 is having, showing them your like ID and everything, and then like your license and your passport, and then you have to scan your plane ticket to get through these, the whatever, you get past the gate there, and you get into this other area. That's the next level. So you basically said, here's my passport, scan it. The information comes up. Is this correct? Yes. And then you're saying what, in that process, you have to say, like, how many bags do you have checked? So Kristen got through first. So we only have one check bag, and the rest were carry-ons. So she said one check bag. And then I said one check bag, because we only had one. So she got through first. saying one check bag. Her name was in the clear. She scanned her passport. Information came up. They take a photo of you. You have this temporary pass. She's already there. You know, she's good. She's sitting down waiting for me. And I said one check bag second. So now I'm kind of suspect. I do the passport thing. Everything clears with that because that's separate from that information. So that clears. I get my temporary pass. I get the photo. And now we're sitting down at what looks like, you're staring at a screen at like the DMV. They call up your ticket or whatever, you know, you're getting your deli meat. So her name pops up right away and my name didn't pop up. So 15 minutes later, I go back and I'm just like, hi, I'm getting this information because you have to do this all on your own. And I am codependent at a fucking airport. I don't know what I'm doing. So like they are, now they help me out, but now I'm also on their watch. So I have somebody following me now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got somebody on me. They got eyes on me because I screwed up. And they're like, yeah, no, here's the problem. They figured out, yeah, you already have the one check bag. That's hers. So you say 0. Okay. Got back. My name pops up. I go through. I get cleared to go to the next level. And that's customs. So now we're at customs in this line. And I got somebody following me, and we're walking through. There's like, you have 2 lines. You have the one where it's the people that are residents, and then you have the ones that are foreign. And so we're going through there. And I look, and I'm just staring at the back of this guy's shirt, and I'm like, oh, this is a weird thing. Like, it's one of those things where like a band that nobody knows of is on the front, and then there's all these songs on the back. They list the album on the back. I'm just looking at it, reading it, zoning out. This is the end of the honeymoon. I'm unshaven. I look like shit. I'm tired. And so I'm just like, oh, whatever. Just reading it. And I look to my to the left of that guy, and then there's this other guy. And I go, oh, that kind of looks like somebody from a TV show I watch. And then when you make the connection, you look back to the other guy with the band shirt, and you realize that guy is on the show too. So now I've confirmed it. It's fucking Jim Leahy and Randy of Trailer Park Boys.
Stop.
At the airport.
No.
Toronto, Canada. They're Canadians.
Jesus.
Toronto airport. It's fucking Leahy and Randy.
No.
John Dunsworth and Pat Roach. And yeah, they're just, I don't know. They're just hanging out, like going through customs. And I was like, I turned to Kristen. I'm just like, fucking Leahy and Randy. Like I just said that. Fucking like Ricky does on the show. I'm like, it's fucking Leahy and Randy. And she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, well, get a picture of him. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to be that guy. I don't like doing that, So she's like, well, I'll be that guy for you. And so she takes a picture of him, and instantly, they go, no phones. And then you're like, fuck, okay, sorry. We get through, we clear all the information for, like, all of your information clears, so that gets stamped. And then you got somebody, hey, can you come over here for a second? And we're like, oh, Jesus. And this dude, this, like, marshal guy, he's just like, yeah, what were you taking a picture of? And we're like, oh, it's 2 guys from a TV show or whatever. Yeah, celebrities don't really like that, It's like, okay, I know. That's why I didn't want to be that guy. And so he's telling me, this guy at the airport telling me what celebrities like and don't like. And he goes, you can't do that, though. And in my brain, I'm thinking like, oh, well, yeah, it's just there's some conflict of interest or whatever, and they're under this establishment, you're taking photos of them, and there's some privacy breachment, so whatever it is. And we weren't breaching their privacy, we're breaching like
airport security.
Remember when I was training to be a terrorist, aka honeymoon? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The people said, take a picture of their customs screening.
Yep.
Because that's what's the photo. Like you eliminate the 2 famous guys, and the photo is you just took a picture of their security system.
Yeah.
And so it just looks awful. And so this marshal is going through, like flipping through her phone, looking at pictures of Conan, deleting, there's a picture of dog, there's a picture. Good thing it wasn't my phone, nuts from all my fucking friends. So he's deleting these pictures of Leahy and Randy, these awful pictures. And we finally get through, and now we have to do the part where you're putting your bags through, like the fucking X-ray machine, and you got to take off your shoes, and you got to do, and so they can't just let me go. This is the Murphy's Law thing I've been joking about this whole fucking trip. Oh, it hasn't happened yet. Everything is great. Yeah, Murphy's Law, dude. They're like being dicks to us, over here. No, I said over here. You have to go to this line. You've been chosen for a special screening or whatever. Like, because obviously somebody had been following me. Now that happens. Like, I'm the guy. I'm the guy to watch. So they go, you can either go through the you instantly have cancer machine, or you can get a man to touch your nuts. So I'm like, definitely have the guy, go down there. I'm not doing the machine. So I get a pat down, whatever. And then our bags are going through, and they're all like, whoa, what's this? What's this? Remember, leaving the country, easy. Coming back in, now this liquid's too much. You can't hit, like, it's the size is too big. I'm like, it's aftershave. And he goes, well, we can't. I'm like, okay, throw it out. What is this? Shampoo. Throw it out. What is it? Like all this stuff. Yeah. And then this woman pulls out. She's like, what is this? It showed up in their machine. We had bought like a lawn ornament. It's out front on the point. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But it's super heavy. And she's like, what is this? And it's a lawn ornament troll. It's a cement troll picking its ear. It's like a little Dumbo little troll, amazing. Cute little thing. But like through the screen, it looks like a fat baby. And then they open it up and they see because it's already suspicious, they see a bunch of bubble wrap with like packaging tape around it. All it was missing was the tick-tock, tick-tock, tick. It looks so bad. I'm like, you're going to open this up? And me being so tired, this is how I get away with things, because I'm just like, I'm just real with them. I'm just like, it's a lawn ornament. It's a cement troll for your lawn. And then she kind of laughed a little bit and put it back. But I'm like, Jesus Christ,
Yep.
Come on. So it was a lot of fun. But then when we sat in our terminal, so there's like Syracuse, going to Syracuse, and then there's like a bunch of other ones, so Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and everything. And fucking Leahy and Randy were going to Harrisburg, so we were just sitting there right next to them. And people were coming up to him, hey, how's it going? Wow. Hey, how's it going? And she's like, Kristen's like, you can take a picture now, right? And then I'm like, she was joking with me, but I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, I should do that. And I'm like, wait a second. I held myself back. I'm like, they're probably still watching me, and this still is the airport. No, they wouldn't let us get on the plane if I did that. So I didn't take a picture of them. But we get on the plane, and right before we have to turn our phones off, Kristen's looking through her phone, and the air marshal guy, or the airport cop or whatever, he didn't delete one of them. So we have a picture of Leahy and the back of Randy's head.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we got one. My friends.
There was a happy ending.
There was. They're probably still fucking. They're like hacked into.
They're
gonna
remotely delete it now.
Oh my god! So that's the airport story.
That's
I don't know
amazing.
why they were going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but. Yeah, no idea why. Might be filming a movie or something. Yeah. I'm not sure. But, yeah, fucking Leahy and Randy.
Leahy and Randy.
And the whole time I'm going through and all this shit's going wrong and my bags are just being torn apart. Good thing we didn't have, like, honeymoon-related shit, like, all over the place in the bag. But, like, they're tearing this thing up, and I'm all I have is Ricky's voice in my head. All I had, well, you take me through fucking costumes, and we get through costumes, and it was all good, and then you fucking give me a PET scan, and whatever, right? It's like doing that. Like, fucking Leahy and Randy, they're over there, chumming it up. Yeah. Exactly. So, well, that's the airport story, and now we're back in tracking mode, and... It's very strange tracking an album because you're never really like together as a band. It feels like this. We're in the practice room now, and it feels like it's been years since we've played.
Yeah,
and it doesn't seem like as a band we're making all this progress, but like all the evidence keeps accruing on our album progress. You know, you have all this evidence now of getting things done, or we're in the plans of that, and we are getting like the most shit done ever. You know, it's about to be at least the most shit done ever in the quickest amount of time. Because it's supposed, the due date is the end of November to be mixed and mastered, to be sent away to be mixed and mastered. So we have like 2.5 months, well, 2 months now to actually like get this shit done. Scary.
It is. It's terrible.
Very scary. I'm hopefully going to get some rhythm guitars done tomorrow. I got to change strings on my guitar and do that. But yesterday, what did we do yesterday?
We got some vocal tests.
Yeah, vocal test.
Check my microphone. No, but we went back into the studio that we tracked drums in, and we started to get some signal chain set up for recording vocals, and seeing how Pat and Jesse feel about tracking vocals for this album. And so far it's looking really promising. I think we got good vocal tone out of everything, and I mean it sounds real. It sounds like us, which is obviously the most important thing that we're trying to get through with all of this.
What mic is he using?
He's that's a good question.
I don't remember what mic he was using, but I feel like
it's not
used
one
it
that I'm
before.
super familiar with. We did use it during drum tracking. We used it as a room mic.
Okay.
Yeah, as like a far
I've seen it
mono
before.
kind of room mic, with kind of different settings and different preamps and stuff when we did drums with it. But yeah, it's a beautiful vocal microphone, and it's working outstanding. Interestingly enough, for both the clean and unclean vocal styles, which I was pretty impressed with. I didn't think, usually when you get like a large diaphragm condenser microphone like that, not necessarily the best thing to go with for screaming vocals, but I mean, I think the evidence is there, and it definitely
Jesse
speaks
was
for
crushing
itself.
it. It wasn't even like a serious, in stone situation. We were just testing out vocals. We wanted to see basically if they had that studio had what we needed, what would be considered preferable. Not only acceptable, I mean it's a studio, so obviously it would be acceptable for anybody, but like preferable to mix with for Jamie King, sending it down to him. We wanted it to be as close to what he's familiar
Accustomed
with.
to working with, yeah.
I'm happy with it. I was a little sick, so I was just testing out some singing, and that was god awful. But Jesse was
absolutely laying it down,
just crushing vocals. It was very exciting.
And it feels good when you have a session like that everybody is just comfortable and just kind of laying it down and doing what they do, and what you're coming out of it with sounds great, and it has that energy to it. That's like those days of recording are what you absolutely live for as a musician that's making a recorded album. It's like that makes all of the other shit worth it. All of the other headache type things, it just makes it worth it when you get something that sounds good and everybody's happy with, and that represents you and your music well. It's like that's it.
I like listening back to a successful guitar session.
Yeah.
I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
I really don't like doing it. You have a lot of patience for me, and that I almost get suicidal. Like
you
that.
do.
I don't. I'm like the sky is falling. Chicken Little or whatever that is, coming down. The sky is coming down.
Yep.
The world is ending because I can't do this. I can't play this riff. But I love vocal tracking. I love it. Yeah. I really do. That's so much fun. And it's so easy, like they already have an ISO booth, so it's not like you have to recreate a situation necessarily. You have the mic that we're using. You put the gobos up or whatever, and you block out whatever areas are flawed or whatever areas you want to dry out the sound even more. That's it. It's done. You don't have to haul a bunch of shit. Drums are a pain in the ass.
Drums are.
Always. Shows, recording,
Yep.
always. So York's definitely happy to have that done. He came in for the vocal session, and he tested out the microphone. He's just a crazy, weird kid. He loves it. He loves being done with one of the most important and difficult instruments in metal. He's done. He's in the clear. He can come in and just be like, testing 1, 2, and do like a silly voice and just make jokes the whole time. And it's good being done with your part, But yeah, we have 2 months to, so it's not one of those things where a band says, hey, it's, we're getting this done. And then 6 months later, they're like, yeah, there was a hold up. Sorry guys, stay with us. That happens every time. We
actually don't have that option.
We have a time. We have a date to have this in by, like your assignment needs to be completed by this time or you fail. Or you have, we just have like a subpar record or like the record we didn't really want. So it needs to get done. So we're going to be busy every day. Something Spire related is going to be talked about, played through, planned out, or just laid down, just tracked out. So something's going to be getting done every time, every day. So from here on out until the end of November, it's all album completion, and then after that we'll probably do all the finer, making sure we have some good artwork and just getting the whole album package together, planning that out. We might do a Kickstarter. It'd be pre-orders for all you guys to get your hands on the album as soon as you can. It's like a first come, first serve kind of thing. And then we'll be planning a release show for it. So that'll be in the works shortly after we're done with the record. So stuff will happen fast. Time will go by, and then Spire's going to have an album soon. So I can promise that.
And it feels really good because it'll be like over 5 years since this band last released an album.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't. Or
it'd probably be
close.
It would probably
5.
be like
not quite 5.
Almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Since it better be a good record. Shit, I hope this is a good one.
Right?
That's a lot of waiting.
We're gonna sell out and no one's gonna like us.
Yeah, well, that'll be the album after.
Yeah, that will be.
This one will be great though.
I'm just waiting to sell out.
Yeah. So, show updates. We don't have any. We were going to play Watertown September 25th. We are no longer playing that show. It got rescheduled.
Sorry, guys.
But that doesn't mean don't go to it. The show was rescheduled to the following night. It's Saturday, September 26th at the Flashback
and
Lounge.
And you should go to it.
You should
We're
go
not
to
playing
it.
it, but you should go to it.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Conforza and the Summoned and Maps of War and Bruce Campbell, the band, not the B-movie actor or whoever that guy is. That show is going to be amazing. I think it's free. It's a free show. But we are not playing that show anymore, so we need to focus on the album. We've been turning down some offers, unfortunately, but it'll be worth it for us and hopefully for you guys too, that we get this done. So if you want any music or merchandise, it can be purchased at spiremetal.bandcamp.com. That's the RIFFCAST. Questions or comments, please email us at spirenymetal@gmail.com. For bonus material from these conversations and more updates on what we have going on, you can join our mailing list by going to spire.fanbridge.com. Thanks for listening, and see you when the album's finished.